video we will study about the Human Genome Project, that is HGP. Now this Human Genome Project is known as the mega project because it was started in 1990 and it was completed in 2003. It was started by the US Department of Energy and National Institute of Health, and then the major partner was Wellcome Trust of UK, later on joined by Japan, France, Germany, China and other countries also joined and they have contributed. Now this human genome has about base pair, number of base pairs is 3 into 10 to the power 9, and the cost of the single base pair to sequence it, that is about $3 per base pair, US dollar. And so you can see that about total cost is about $9 billion to sequence it. This much cost is there. Now if we are storing, that sequence should be required the storing purpose. For storing, when we are stored in the typed form and in a form of a book, and each page having about 1000 letters and each book having about 1000 pages, then about 3300, that is 3300 books are required to store a single human cell's information, that is sequence, DNA sequence. That's why it is known as the mega project, and it also requires very high computational device for analysis of data, retrieval of data. So all these things require very high computational devices, and all these given to a new branch that is known as bioinformatics in biology. Now some of the advantages of this human genome project is that it changes and bring the revolution in the diagnosis as well as treatment of various disorders in human being, as well as it can prevent, due to this we can prevent nowadays about thousands of disorders can be prevented. So we can see how much advantageous this one. Then it can also be used in the field of agriculture, then environmental remediation, then energy production. So it is very advantageous in different fields. Now Drosophila, then yeast and other organisms also there, this DNA is also has been sequenced. Now the method for sequencing this, the methodology which is utilized, there are two approaches for that. First is that ESTs, that means it is based on, it is ideally all the genes which are expressed as mRNA, they are only sequenced, and that is known as ESTs. And other method is that here all the whole set of genome is sequenced, and then that is coding as well as non-coding, and later on assigning the different regions in sequence. So here only the mRNA, but the genes which are present on mRNA are sequenced, and here whole set of genome is sequenced. So there are two methods for that. Now the hosts which are used for this purpose is the BAC, that is bacterial artificial chromosome, or yeast artificial chromosome. The different steps are there for this HGP, that is isolation of DNA. The DNA of the particular organism, the cell is isolated outside, then they will undergo the process of fragmentation into the small fragments, then they are cloned in the host through the vectors they are cloned, and then in the host cell, then the amplification of DNA is occurred. All the fragments will be amplified, and then all the fragments will be sequenced by using the automated DNA sequence, already given DNA sequence, and with the help of that the sequence of DNA base pair will be sequenced, and that method is developed by Frederick Sanger. Now SNPs are there, that is single nucleotide polymorphism. That means DNAs have some places where it is different, the base pairs are different, and that is known as SNPs or single nucleotide polymorphism. The identification of this SNPs helps nowadays in various fields like they are associated with disease associated cell for identifying the disease associated cells, as well as they are also utilized to know the human history. Now, some of the salient features of this HGP is that the smallest chromosome is the Y chromosome. Then about 99% of the chromosome, 99.9% of the chromosome, the DNA are same in different organism. Very less amount is very minute trace amount is different in different organisms. Then there all these salient features will study through this diagram as well as this PowerPoint. This slide is showing the introduction to HGP, that is Human Genome Project, which was an international scientific research project, and that was aimed to determine the complete sequence of nucleotide base pairs that make up human DNA and all the genes it contains. It remains the world's largest collaborative biological project, and the idea was picked up in 1984 by the US government when the planning started. The project was formally launched in 1990 and declared completed in 2003. That's why it is known as mega project. This slide is showing the different primary aims and objectives of HGP, that is Human Genome Project. Human Genome Project the aim was to construct the map of genome and identify all the genes, about 30,000 genes, and to know the entire sequence of all the base pairs present on DNA. And the objective was to know, after knowing the arrangements of all these 3 billion base pairs in human genome, then to develop new technology, DNA technology, to make all the data generated by HGP freely and rapidly available on the internet, so that they can be applied in various fields. Here the sequencing of DNA base pairs, the determination of precise order of nucleotide in DNA, that order of those base pairs. Then there are following techniques for DNA sequencing, that is either chain determination method by F. Sanger and A. R. Colson. Second method is chemical degradation method by A. Maxam and W. Gilbert. And third is automated DNA sequencing. Here we can see the aim we have learned from Human Genome Project are. The project goals were the goals of this HGP was to identify all the approximately 20,000 to 25,000 genes in human DNA. Then to determine their sequence of the base pairs which make the human DNA. Then after, it was required to store these informations in databases. Then improve tools for data analysis, and then all these knowledge are transferred to different private sectors to take benefit of them, and to address the ethical, legal and social issues that may arise from these projects. So these are the goals of the Human Genome Project. Some of the salient features of HGP, that is Human Genome Projects, are the chromosome number 1 having the maximum number of base pairs, that is 2968, whereas Y chromosome has the fewest one, that is 231 base pair. About 99.9% of the chromosome base pairs are similar in different individuals, they are same. Then about less than 2% of genome only codes for the protein. And functions of more than 50% discovered genome is not known till now. Now the repeated sequence make up very large portion of the human genome, that is they are repeated after some interval. Then human genome contains about 3164.7 millions of nucleotides. So these are some important salient features of HGP. Now we will discuss about DNA fingerprinting. This method was developed by Alec Jeffrey, and which is helpful. It is the quickest method to compare the DNA sequence of two different individuals. So, and that's why it has a it is very advantageous in different fields. Now, some of the steps to DNA fingerprint, because we know that two different individuals have different this sequence of DNA. They are not similar, just like our fingerprints are different. In the same way, the DNA sequence, the base pair sequence is different in different individual, and that's why it is known as DNA fingerprinting. And the steps which are used in this process are isolation of DNA. That means, first of all, the person whose DNA is to be undergoing the comparison will be isolated from the cell by dissolving the cell wall, then cell membrane, etc. And the DNA is isolated. After that, it will undergo the process of digestion by using the restriction enzyme. It will cut down into small fragments. Then the DNA fragments will undergo the process of electrophoresis to separate them. So all the DNA fragments will be separated by using this method, that is DNA electrophoresis. Now, after the separation of DNA fragments, they will be transferred on the membrane-like structure that is made up of this nitrocellulose or nylon, and that process is known as blotting. Now, they will undergo the process of hybridization using the labeled DNPR probe. Already known DNA probes are there, and by comparing with that, this hybridization process is done, and then detection of hybridized DNA fragments by autoradiography. So all these steps are utilized for this. After all these steps, then only the DNA sequence can be visible for comparing two individuals. Now, V and TR, this is the variable number of tandem repeats. That means how many times this tandem repeats are there on the DNA. So, on the basis of comparing the V and TRs, the DNA fingerprinting is done. That is, comparison is done between the two individuals. Now, because about 99.9% of the base pairs are same, only with that much, this little figure, that is 0.02%, 0.01% is different, and that will show the variable number of tandem repeat, and that is the base for the quick way to compare the DNA sequence of two individuals. On that basis, there may be some that can be utilized in different fields, like forensic science for identification of the criminals, or in case of the parental dispute, that is compared and utilized for that purpose, or in the evolutionary history, to knowing the evolutionary history, or to determining the population. In all those fields, this DNA fingerprinting is very, very helpful.
This slide is showing the process of DNA fingerprint. The biological materials which are required for the process of DNA fingerprinting, that is blood, hair, saliva, semen, body tissue, anything can be utilized for this purpose for extracting the DNA. Now, there are wide range of advantages of DNA fingerprinting because it is more accurate than fingerprinting. It is more useful forensic tool, and it provides the specific information about anything, the DNA or the person. Then very small quantities of DNA even are utilized for this accurate test. Now the sample can last longer. That means the sample can use up to 25 million years. Now, sample of mixed DNA can also be utilized for this purpose, and it is very much harder, very difficult to clean up the crime scene, other evidences. This slide is showing. In this slide, we can see the method of DNA fingerprinting. For this, the sample is collected either in the form of blood, hair, or something else. Then here we are taking the blood sample. Now this blood sample is utilized for the DNA. DNA is extracted from this white blood cell. then it is mixed with the restriction endonuclease enzyme so that the DNA fragment will be formed. Now these DNA fragments loaded with the agar gel for the process of electrophoresis so that the DNA fragments can be separated. After that, these DNA fragments will be transferred on the nylon membrane, that is known as southern blotting, which is then incubated with the radioactive probes. For with the radioactive nucleotides, the complementary DNA is known as the probes. Now after that, through this X-ray photographic sheets will be placed over the membrane and later developed to reveal the series of DNA bands, and these DNA bands having different base pairs. So all these DNA bands can be matched or for other purpose can be used. This slide is showing the equipments which are utilized for DNA fingerprinting process. We can see here this is the extracted DNA, then these are the different equipments, then with the help of this restriction enzyme it will be fragmented. All these fragments will be separated by using this agar gel, then they are matched with the probes, and they will first transfer on the nylon membrane, that is through the southern blotting, and then matched with the probes, and then X-ray film, the bands will be formed this X-ray film. So we can see all these equipments are utilized for the process of DNA fingerprinting. This slide is showing the equipments which are utilized for DNA fingerprinting process. We can see here this is the extracted DNA, then these are the different equipments, then with the help of this restriction enzyme it will be fragmented. All these fragments will be separated by using this agar gel, then they are matched with the probes, and they will first transfer on the nylon membrane, that is through the southern blotting, and then matched with the probes, and then X-ray film, the bands will be formed this X-ray film. So we can see all these equipments are utilized for the process of DNA fingerprinting. This slide is showing the variable number of tandem repeats. That means the DNA fingerprinting based upon the VNTRs, that is the variable number of tandem repeats, which has a specific type of this VNTRs. That means each and every individual have different genetic sequence, and that is only helping in the process of identification or matching the DNA of two different individuals. For example, the victim or the suspect DNA, the tandem repeats were matched, then counted and then matched. This slide is showing the different fields where the DNA fingerprinting is utilized. Their application is there, like crime scene for identification of the criminals, then human relatedness, animal relatedness, then in case of paternity test, that is any type of dispute regarding the parents, then anthropological studies, then to identify the disease causing organism, or for the identification of different types of food, then about the human remains, or monitoring the transplants. In this way, these the DNA fingerprinting has wide range of uses. Then in the medical area, it is also utilized for matching the organ donors in case of organ transplantation or organ replacement, then for diagnosing the inherited disorders or diseases in parental and newborn babies also, then research on the genetic disorders, as well as it is also utilized in studying the populations of the wild animals.